A warm welcome to all of you, and I thank you for taking the time to attend today's workshop. My name is Tom Jose, and I shall be taking today's workshop. I hope my voice is audible and the display is well and clear. If not, please let us know in the chat provided. This is the fifth and last workshop of the AD Self-Service Plus workshop series. The first workshop was conducted on the password reset, the second one was on password synchronizer, and the third one conducted was on the enrollment feature, and the fourth one, which was conducted last week, was on the password expiry notification. So today's agenda, as put up on the slide, will be covering the following features. So for those of you who are new to the workshop series, let me start with what exactly is AD Self-Service Plus. AD Self-Service Plus is a secure, web-based end-user password reset management program. This software helps domain users to perform self-service password reset, self-service account unlock, and employee self-update of personal details like telephone numbers, etc. in the Windows Active Directory. Now, today's workshop, we are going to cover the password policy enforcer feature of the AD Self-Service Plus and how to strengthen users' password by enforcing custom password policies with more complexity rules. Now, when a user resets the password, whether it's through the change password screen of his machine or when the administrator resets it through the ADUC, the password needs to follow only the domain password requirements. But what if the administrator of the organization wants the users to reset the passwords with other requirements, such as maybe avoiding the use of a blacklisted password? For this scenario, we have the password policy enforcer feature, which adds another layer of policy on top of the existing domain password policy. This can be really useful as the admin does not have to configure it within the domain, as all he needs to do is use our user-friendly UI and enforce the password policy of your need. Now, as you can see, this workshop will show you the following: how to enforce a universal password policy for Active Directory for all your applications such as AD, Office 365, IBM, Google Apps, etc. And next is how to enable instant password strength when end users type their passwords in the reset or change password screen. Configure blacklisted passwords to eliminate the usage, thereby securing your environment. And customize password policy requirements. And lastly, enforce the ADUC administrator with the custom password policy. So let me start by logging into the AD Self-Service Plus. And as you can see, I have already pre-configured my domain into this as the 83C domain. So let's move on, and I'll go to the configuration page. And on the third on the list under self-service, we have the password policy enforcer. Now, before I enable the password policy enforcer, let me show you how a normal change password screen of a client machine looks like. And that is here. When you click on change password screen, you can see that this is how it looks. So now I'll enable the custom password policy. So once enabling, you can see we have 9 complexity rules from which the admin can choose. That includes password length, how you can define it, and number of special characters he wants to allow, whether the user should use both upper and lower cases when he's defining the password, and whether he wants the user to use numbers in the password, etc. And this is where the blacklisted passwords can be mentioned and restricted. So I will be using all these options except for the one which says prevent using a palindrome and disallow reusing of a character more than twice, and disallowing use of 3 consecutive characters from the username. So other than that, I've ticked all of them. And now next 3 options is defining how and when to enforce it. So the first one is, if I tick this option, then I have to mention a number, and that means the password will be changed only if the password satisfies at least so and so of the above complexity requirements. So for now, I'm just unticking it. So that means it's empty, and that by default it means the user has to follow all the policy requirements. And the second one is enforce this policy in the GINA or credential provider screen and ADUC password resets to the password sync agent. So I'll just save it, and I will get back to you on the ADUC password reset, and I'll just show you how the GINA or credential provider screen looks like. So remember the screen I had shown you earlier, how it looked without the enforcing a custom policy. So now when I click change password, you can see these requirements mentioned, and that is the minimum length should be at least 8, number of special characters to include should be 2, and it should start with the letter, must contain both upper and lower cases, must contain at least one number, and must not contain restricted passwords. So let me show you what happens if I fail to follow these rules. So I'll just type in the new old password, that is 83c@123, and the new password I'm going to keep it as pass at 123. So as you can see, among these requirements, a tick mark has been shown against whichever requirement which I have fulfilled, but this one, that is number of special characters to include, I have not fulfilled it, and the fourth one which says must contain both upper and lower cases, that also I have not fulfilled. So I'll just type in the confirm password and I'll show you what happens when you do try to change your password, and we face an error saying that your password has been rejected because it does not contain the 2 special characters and it does not contain both cases. So this is how the password policy enforcer can be used within the change password of your client machine. Now the next what I'm going to show you is how the how the administrator can enforce a password policy for the user accounts, that is the AD, as well as its linked accounts such as Office 365, IBM, Google Apps, etc. So for that, first we need to configure the password synchronizer. So I go to the password synchronizer page, and here we have a wide list of options. I had already covered the password synchronizer session earlier, so I'm not going to go in depth. I'm just going to configure Office 365. So here I'm going to type in the domain name, that is ramchand.info, and the username, that is roland@rolandnet.onmicrosoft.com, and the password, and the description I'm going to keep it as for workshop purpose. Policy, since we have only one, keeping it as it is and clicking save. So let me just configure the Office 365 with the AD Self-Service Plus, and that has been successfully done. Now let's log in as my user Tom Joes, who has a Tom Joes account in the Office 365. So I'll go here, type in the username Tom Joes, and type in his password, that is I'm sorry, let me just type the correct password. So once logged in, I can go to the change password screen, and here we have this. They gives us the option to choose which all accounts. Now by default, the Tom Joes of the AD account is not allowed to be deselected. So that also I can change. I can go to the policy configuration of the admin side, and within the advanced settings, you have to go to password sync, and here's the option which allows the users to deselect Active Directory during reset or unlock operations. So I'll just click OK and save. So now here, if I just refresh this page for change password, you can see that within the accounts I can deselect the Tom Joes of AD account and just change the password of Office 365. Now, like the change password screen, unlike the change password screen, you are not seeing the custom policy requirements because I hadn't enabled it in the configuration side. We'll get back to that later, but don't worry, the password policy will be enforced regardless. So I'm going to type in the old password, that is AD360@123, and the new password I'm going to type in a failure password. So that's going to be, again, I'll type in pass@123, pass@123, and I'm going to click change. And like you can see, I've got an alert message saying that password failed to meet the password policy requirements because it did not contain 2 special characters and it did not have both upper and lower cases. So I'll just think of a password that has all of them. I'll just type once again the old password, and this time the new password I'm going to keep it as pass@123#, pass@123#. So I'm going to click change password, and I believe all the password policy requirements have been met. And let's see if the Office 365 account's password has been changed, and as you can see, it's been successfully changed. So that's how you can enforce password policy not only for your AD account but as well as for your linked accounts such as Office 365, Google Apps, IBM, etc. And now I shall show you how the password analyzer works. So I go back to the change password screen, and you should have noticed that when I typed in my new password, I was shown a red, yellow, green color like this. So this is red, showing that it's weak. Now I type @1 and it becomes yellow, means it's between, it's slightly stronger, that is maybe medium. And if I type in one more special character, and as you can see it's green, that means it's a strong password. So this is how this password analyzer works. And if your password meets all the complexity requirements which is enforced, then it will definitely be green. So next I shall show you that how to customize the password policy enforcer view for the reset password and the change password pages. So I should just click cancel on this and go back to the configuration page. So here I'll go to password policy enforcer, and we had not ticked this option earlier, so I'll just tick this now and show you how the view looks now. So now I'll just again refresh this change password screen, and now you can see the password custom password policy which I had enabled has overwritten the domain password policy text in the change password screen, and that is already mentioned within the customize view. And one more thing is we can customize how the message is going to look on each page, that is within the web portal, within the iOS Android apps, and within the Gina credential provider screen. So I can rearrange the complexities accordingly, so I can keep this minimum password length right at the bottom and change the text. That will be the password length should be at least, and like that I can go to the Gina CP screen and put this right at the top and mention that must not contain blacklisted passwords, and click save. So now I'll just show you how the UI looks once I've done the changes. I'll just refresh the change password screen again, and as you can see, because the text has been changed, the password length should be at least 8, and that is being moved right to the bottom. And if you go to the change password screen, that is here, you can see that I changed the text must not contain blacklisted password, and that is right on the top. So this is how the customization work, and it is separate. It can be done separately for Gina CP screen, iOS, Android apps, and web portal as well. So next I shall show you how blacklisted passwords work. Now what is blacklisted password? It's basically a list of words that is disallowed as user passwords due to how common the users can use it as their password. Like people use QWERTY, ASDF, 1234, and I'm going to keep as one more, that is password itself. So next time a user uses such kind of words within their password, the password won't be accepted and they will be receiving an error message. So I'll just click save, and now I will try resetting the password. I'm changing the password, I mean. So I go to the credential provider screen, that is here, and type in the old password at first, that's 83c@1234, and type in the new password, that is going to be password @123 hash, and password @123 hash. So now as you can see, this option has been unticked because I had mentioned a blacklisted password, that is the word password itself, and because that is mentioned in this, it is not allowed. So now when I try to change the password, it says the username or password is incorrect. And that is how the blacklisted password is disallowed when you have forced that complexity rule on your password requirements. Now we had forgotten one option, that is how to enforce this policy within your ADUC password reset through the password sync agent. So first let me explain to you how the password sync agent is. You should go to the password sync page here, and for more info you can just click learn more, and you can see how it works. So let me just give you a brief info about this, and that means password sync agent basically is used to synchronize the native password changes and it has to be installed in your primary domain controller as well as any writable domain controllers of your domain. So it can be found within your AD Self-Service Plus product home within the bin folder, and this is the installation file. Once installed, you can see the stray icon right here, and it has the options edit settings, start service, stop service, service status, and if at all your product has been moved to another server or is working in another port or HTTPS, then you need to click on edit settings and type in the new server name. So in my case, it's the same. I'm just showing you the demo, and port number it's 8888 and protocol is HTTP itself, and I'll just click save, and it has been successfully synced. I'll just close that, and from here you can see the server status, and that is showing that the server of the product AD Self-Service Plus is live and the service status, that is of the password sync agent, is currently running. Now I shall try resetting the password, and for that I'll go to this user Harold, and here I'll reset the password. So now we shall see how the password policy has been enforced in the ADUC. I'm going to type in the password again as password at 123, password at 123, and untick this option and click OK. Now as you can see, because again the password, that is a blacklisted password contained in the password I typed, then because of that this error has popped which said that my password does not meet the basic complexity requirements. So here also I have shown you how you can use password policy enforcer via password sync agent to enforce it in ADUC password resets as well as your change password. So I'll just type a proper password in this case, and that will be pass at 123 hash, pass at 123 hash, and now I'll just try to click. And as you can see, because the password met all the password policy requirements, the password was successfully changed. So this is how the password sync agent helps in the enforcement of the custom password policy through ADUC. And I just showed you only the change password screen. Let me just show you the reset password screen as well. So you go to forget your password, type in the username, that is Tom Joes in my case, and continue. And let me just type my security question answers. So the first one is the country you always dreamt of vacationing in, that is Spain. And the second one is what is your mother's maiden name, that is mother. And let me just type the captcha, that is M58J9B, and continue. Now we are on to the reset password page, and here is how I'd customized the reset password page. And on the top right you have the time left for this operation. By default it's 5 minutes, and if you do exceed it, the session will be reset. And here is the custom password policy which I had enabled, and if you just click on list you can see all the restricted patterns, and password which I had mentioned is one of them. And accordingly you need to choose a password. So I'm going to keep it as PAS at 123 hash, PAS at 123 hash, and like that it follows all the password policies. And let me just type in the captcha, that is 545 D60 and reset. And right now I had selected all the accounts for the user Tom Joe. So basically it means the Office 365 and his AD account password is going to be changed. And yes, my AD account as well as my Office 365 password has been successfully changed. And this is how the password policy enforcer works. So let me just recap with all of these. And as you can see within the topics, I had deployed a universal password policy, and I had shown you how it's displayed within the change password screen. And also I showed how you can enforce it just for not only your AD account but as well as your linked accounts such as Office 365, IBM or Google Apps. And then I displayed to you how the password strength is shown and how it can measure the weakness of your password. And then I've shown you the blacklisted passwords, how to configure the passwords, and how the AD Self-Service Plus eliminates the usage. And then I have shown how the customization of the password policy requirements work independently in web screen, in the web portal screen, and in the mobile app screen, and in the GINA or credential provider screen. And lastly, I've shown how to enforce the AD user password resets via the password sync agent, and how to enforce a custom password policy for that. So we have come to the end of today's workshop, as I have covered all the set exercises in the agenda. So I thank each and everyone for being such a wonderful audience and being patient with us. I hope this session has been informative to all. Any questions regarding the session can be put in the chat box, to which we will reply immediately, or else if there isn't enough time, we will take it personally offline with you. Also, please take a minute or two to fill up the feedback form which is mailed to you after the session to let us know your thoughts on today's workshops and any room for improvement. And you can also let us know what topics you would like us to discuss in the upcoming workshops, as we would be only glad to hear that. The video of this workshop will be available online and also shared with you personally for your future reference. So today was the last of this AD Self-Service workshop series. We will let you know of any more upcoming workshop series for AD Self-Service Plus. And I thank you all once again, and a good day to all. Bye.